Hazy, hot, and humid on Independence Day with a few storms developing. Good Wednesday night, East Tennessee. David Aldridge, Captain Accurate here from the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Oh, we've had plenty of this, plenty of hazy sunshine over the last couple of days, and that trend will continue into the Independence Day holiday. We hit 93 degrees as expected today. That occurred just after 5 p.m. There has been an update for Oak Ridge. It was believed to have been 93 in Oak Ridge, but they bumped up to 94 just after 6 p.m. tonight. The average high is 88, the record high 99, sit back in 1925. But 95 in Sevierville, that's hot stuff. 90 degrees in Kingston, La Follette, and Oneida. A high temperature today in Crossville, 88 degrees. So a hot day all across the board. Even our friends in the plateau feeling some of that warmth across much of the area. But they hit 95 in Nashville, Music City, and 98 in Memphis, where the excessive heat warning has been in place because of the heat index. The feels like temperature well over 100, 105 at times. 90-degree days in Knoxville. The averages are on the bar graph. We typically see a week in June, 12 days in July. July is usually the hottest month of the year in terms of 90-degree days. And we get 10 in August and 4 in September. That's in a given year. Some years are better than others. Some are below average. It's just the way it goes. We've had 2 weeks of 90 in June, and so far 2 days in July. The first day of July, we were only at 87. So we weren't quite the 90 degrees, but we've had 16 days. That's respectable. Certainly more on track this year than we were last year, because last year we had only 18 for the whole summer. Okay, let's talk about fireworks. I know that's on the minds of many. Yes, I do have now a 30% chance. I've lowered it by 10% from 40 to 30%. There is a chance for some showers and storms, and when it rains, it pours. You can imagine with this humidity in the air, the humid air mass, that will be conducive for locally heavy rain where it rains. It pours. But it's going to be hot like a firecracker. 94 tomorrow. 75 is the overnight low, but many of us will be enjoying fireworks in the 80s, feeling like the swamp. It'll be stuffy, so dress accordingly. And yes, mosquitoes might be an issue too, but storms should be fading, I suspect, before the sun sets, which is just a few minutes before 9 p.m. Ultimate Doppler radar, presented by your local Marco's Pizza, isn't showing much at all in terms of the rain, but you said some drizzle. I'm going to hold you accountable, Aldrich. I did say this morning that we had the possibility of some drizzle today. And I even said so far that it's probably west of I-75 around the plateau. Let's go back 8 hours. Let's rewind the tape and look toward the plateau. Ooh, I see some little passing showers there in Cumberland County. Saw a few there in Fentress County too. Maybe in northern Morgan. So if you got some drizzle, then that verified. But you had to squint to find it even on the radar, because you go back in 8 hours ago. Let's watch it again real quick. Just look around Crossville, Jamestown. Few showers, right? Little drop of rain here, but many of us are going, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no rain where I am. I get that. There will be a better chance tomorrow at a 30% chance. Now, Marco's Pizza, marcos.com. Check out Hardin Valley Farragut locations. If you're in Maryville, Blount County, they'd love to hear from you. Fountain City and Halls. They've got new locations in Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. The reason I say new is because they're under new ownership. New leadership, better than ever. And they're also corporate sponsors of No Kid Hungry. They give back quite a bit to the local community. Check them out. Their Pepperoni Magnifico is magnificent. If you're a fan of pepperoni pizza, under $10, limited time only. And of course, the Pozzoli is a great lunch item for less than $6 for a limited time. My favorite is the pepperoni and sausage. By the way, you can see what I was referring to as the excessive heat warning in Shelby County. This is Memphis. That is until 9 o'clock Central. And Nashville, they're under the heat advisory till 7 o'clock Central. So you get a sense. It has been a very interesting situation. That may be extended into tomorrow. Those dates may actually extend well past tonight and into tomorrow. But there are severe thunderstorm concerns in Nebraska and into parts of Kansas, where the weather is very active there. And you can see all across the board how active it is in other parts of the country. Tracking the clouds, I would describe tonight as partly cloudy, and then maybe mostly cloudy overnight, as we'll find more haze to greet you when you start the day tomorrow. But the showers and storms are now firing up north of Lexington at this hour, most of it in northern Kentucky. Meanwhile, we're talking about a very powerful major hurricane in Hurricane Beryl, as winds are down to 130, so it's kind of a weak Category 4. It's a kind of an oxymoron to say. It's a Category 4 hurricane. So even if it's 130, it was 165 yesterday morning. It has decreased in intensity, but catastrophic damage can likely occur when you're in the path of this hurricane, and it has affected parts of Jamaica, especially the southern part of the island. You can see the broken white lines of where this storm has been, and it may have been worse in the Kingston area than it was maybe Montego Bay, but either still, they're getting some big effects or being lashed by that hurricane, as it is likely to move south of Cancun by early Friday morning, but could very well affect the northern part of Belize, the country of Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula. But then it moves toward the Gulf of Mexico once again. We've seen Alberto on a similar path. We've seen Chris, a very weak storm, but Chris and the remnants moved into Mexico. But this has a little bit of a hook, and it may be steered by the upper level winds because it wants to go toward Corpus Christi, and maybe we just get some crazy rain in Houston out of this system, but the wind speeds may drop quite a bit once it hits land. Will that be in Mexico? Will that be around Corpus Christi? Time will tell, but that would likely occur early next week. So we'll be keeping an eye on the U.S. impact of Beryl. Hurricane Beryl is now affecting the Jamaica and soon-to-be Cayman Islands tonight and tomorrow. Meanwhile, there's a 20% chance that something new forms on the menu in yellow. That's from the Hurricane Center. A 20% chance that something forms over the next 7 days. And there's a 60% chance something forms south of Mexico in the Pacific Ocean. Again, this is just an outlook. The Pacific Ocean, of course, uses a different set of names than what we use here in the Atlantic. Hurricane season typically ramps up between August and September. That is not a surprise. That's based on history. So we can cross off the first three names, but we have Debbie, Ernesto, and Francine on the on-deck circle. You'd like how I use my baseball analogy because we're national title champions, you know. Okay, so Knoxville looking very humid with the humidity. Rather stuffy heading into Thursday, yes, for Independence Day. It doesn't change the green ooze for tomorrow afternoon either. It stays very humid and will stay like that in time for fireworks in the evening. Now, once we move into Friday, no change here, but I see something pulling back a wee bit on Saturday. Not very evident at 5 o'clock on Friday. Really not that evident even on Saturday morning because it's still very bright green across Knoxville and East Tennessee. But you give it to the afternoon. Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, it begins to show a little sign of decreasing. Dew points will drop just a wee bit. And again, all things are relative. Keep in mind, it's still July. So it's not like it's going to be an autumn day, but certainly by the afternoon on Saturday, we can anticipate a drop in humidity because I got overnight lows Saturday night down to 67. That's an improvement over the mid-70s where we're going to be heading into tonight and tomorrow night. So tracking the humidity a little bit less heading into Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. And that kind of leads me into my headlines. 3 H's and some 30% chance of storms on Independence Day. More storms developing Friday, especially Friday evening, Friday night. And the humidity drops a wee bit on Saturday, which we've just illustrated. Let's talk about the severity, because there is the possibility of some isolated severe storms in dark green and for some scattered severe storms in yellow. That would include Kansas City. If you or family members might be on the road this holiday weekend, Tulsa could be included there, as well as Springfield, Missouri, and areas just south of Minneapolis, St. Paul, northern Iowa. There will be some hot spots to watch tomorrow. But we can't rule out East Tennessee. As you can figure, where it rains, it pours. And if it does downpour, it could be like in Crossville or Jamestown, where we have some damaging wind, locally heavy rain. These are the dark green areas that are most prone to get the rain tomorrow. And we'll be watching, I think, even the Tri-Cities, Morristown area as well. I think this is one of those areas that could be fluid and ever-changing. But Friday, the risk for severe storms, mainly Lexington to Columbus, to Huntington, Charleston, West Virginia, and possibly Jellicoe. As we zoom back in here, that's the state view. The light green represents general thunderstorms. And I have us down for a 60% chance of rain on Friday, but an 80% chance Friday night. So it does ramp up with the approaching cold front, and I use the cold front in quotation marks because there's nothing really cold behind it. It's just a wind shift change line as it comes into town. Notice by 11 o'clock tonight, most of the storms are up toward Louisville and Charleston, West Virginia. Tomorrow afternoon, yeah, there'll be a few. 30% chance of a few showers that develop like so. But by the time we hit the time that, was it 9, 10 o'clock? 9:30, 10 o'clock, fireworks are being launched and maybe over in 30 minutes to an hour. And look at that. It's pretty much, I think, gone. Most of this will be fading with the setting sun because we'll lose the heat source. By midday Friday, it ramps up again. And you can see by the end of the afternoon, it's really centered around our region. And once that front continues, it will continue to rain like so. So we've got a good chance of rain over the next couple of days, but it will only ramp up, I think, especially Friday and Friday night. Visibility. What about fog in the morning? Many of us will be sleeping in, I imagine, on Independence Day. But if you're up early, there may be a few patches in white there from Wartburg to maybe southern sections of Cumberland County, and maybe the foothills and Smokies, but nothing too exciting to get too excited about as far as patches of fog in the morning. I just wanted to illustrate that with a visual picture there. Tonight we're down to 74. I would call that stuffy. Anytime you get struggling to get out of the low to mid 70s, it is humid, partly to mostly cloudy skies as we head into the overnight with light and variable winds. Tonight, 73 for Kingston, Oak Ridge, 72 Morristown, Dandridge, Jefferson City, Newport, and Del Rio, low 70s there. Thursday, 94. Of course, that's Independence Day. Hazy, hot, and humid. I got a little more creative with my icons. You see my July 4th star there. And the fireworks. Oh, now I'm in the mode. I'm now in the mode of Independence Day. So high temperatures tomorrow. 91 the Follett. Easily 94 again for Oak Ridge, 95 for Kingston. So we'll find these feels like temperatures tomorrow in the mid to upper 90s, much like they were today. Much like they were today. Expect a very humid air mass. So the 94 is what's measured in the shade. It may be academic, because if you're spending a long time in the sun, make sure you pack a water bottle wherever you may be, whether it's by the lake, if you're by the neighborhood pool, or if you're headed to the beach. You're going to find, again, some hot weather here and probably on the way there. By the way, here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee. Does it get any warmer on Thursday night? It does, by another degree. Low temperature, 75. So the next 2 nights, tonight and tomorrow night, are going to be super swampy, super soupy. And then we bring in that 80% chance of rain. So I have high confidence that if you don't get wet tomorrow, you've got a better chance of getting it on Friday night. Saturday, 30% chance. It's kind of what's left over. And then it's a hazy, hot, humid day on Sunday. A hot day on Monday, but another good chance of rain coming in on Tuesday at 60%. So I wanted to give you a bird's eye view as the holiday weekend continues. Make sure you, of course, drive responsibly, and make sure you check on your elderly neighbors and friends and your pets. Make sure they're cared for, because they're going to need some extra water, no doubt, heading into this weekend. By the way, if you want to keep track of it all, using the Captain Accurate Weather app, another great tool about the app is that you get the lightning alerts. Oh yes, the lightning alerts. I love that, because Pete Michaels Traffic is very helpful when you're going to work or going to school. Keep you and your family safe. Just search the 2 words Captain Accurate at the App Store and Google Play. And don't forget, as I mentioned, you get all the National Weather Service alerts plus 3 extras. It's free. Download it today. Again, you get the lightning alerts anytime lightning strikes within 15 miles of your location. You'll be notified. And if you're a grandma or a grandpa, maybe you're a papa, mama, wants to say, hey, kids, grandkids, get out of the pool. I just got an alert from my Captain Accurate Weather app. There's lightning in the air. Oh, good. I'm glad you told us. So those types of things can be very helpful and can be very helpful to protect you and your family. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate. So weather doesn't surprise you. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. We'll see you here next time. Take care.